Hey guys, it's time once again for my annual plan to pan. These are the products that I want to pan in 2026, which is almost here. I've decided in 2026 my overarching panning goal is even use of my collection. So I'm going to be doing a collection-wide project 10 uses, where the goal is to use every single thing in my collection 10 times. And when it comes to palettes, my goal is to use, aka dip into each palette at least 10 times, but not necessarily to use every shade in every palette 10 times. With palettes, my goal is, again, no pan left behind. So I also want to use every single pan of eyeshadow at least once within every palette, but a total of 10 uses per palette. However, I will be counting individually packaged single eyeshadows like my potted cream shadows, my shadow sticks, glitter toppers. All of those I do want to use 10 times. I also have set the goal to use up 32 products in 2026, and I chose 32 because I will be turning 32 in 2026, at the very end of 2026. I want to completely use up 32 makeup products, not including mascara, because mascaras I more so follow the 6-month rule, so I will use them for 6 full months, and by that point they're retired. I try to just have one mascara at a time so I can actually completely use up, or have a better chance of completely using up each mascara that I use within that 6-month period, but mascaras are kind of their own thing. I automatically use them up throughout the year, so I don't count those really in my panning. This will be a challenge because since I've started tracking my makeup empties over the years, I think the most makeup products I've used up in a year was around 30, including mascaras. So to use up 32 products, not including mascaras, is going to be challenging, but I don't think it's so challenging that I can't do it. I mean, there are panners on here that will go through way more than 30 products in a year. I mean, I am seriously impressed by some people's ability to use up makeup throughout the year, and I think I can do 32. I think that should be doable. Also in 2026, I want to start tracking the weight on my project pan items. I told myself that I wasn't going to purchase a scale for this purpose because I feel like that kind of goes against the whole reason behind project panning, which is to reduce what we're buying. But if I saw someone giving one away in our buy nothing group, I would be more than happy to get it. And lo and behold, someone was giving away their kitchen scale. I don't know, has anyone used this one before? It's pretty cool. It looks a little bit old. I hope it works. I have to get a battery for it. It would be a 9-volt battery. But on January 1st, I want to weigh all 32 of these products on my plan to pan so that halfway through the year, or maybe even quarterly, I can do a little update to see how I'm doing. So I want to share all 32 products that I'm hoping to finish in 2026, but first a word from our sponsor, Sima. Sima is back sponsoring another video, and I am so happy about it because I love talking about the Sima exfoliating shower towels. Specifically when we're talking about panning, one of the main goals for me of panning in the grand scheme of things is that I want to consume less ultimately. Like, panning is my way of using what I have so that I don't buy new stuff. With Sima, I'm able to actually really reduce the amount of product I go through because my partner and I have replaced body scrubs with these exfoliating shower towels. So these are reusable, machine washable, and therefore way more eco-friendly than something like a loofah that you kind of have to throw away after a certain amount of time. These will last you much, much longer, but they have that same kind of really soft but slightly scrubby texture that's just perfect for physically exfoliating the body. I feel like it serves the exact same purpose as a body scrub. I can use it with whatever, scented body wash that I'm using at the moment, and I don't need a separate body scrub to scrub my body. I was really excited to make the switch to these because this past summer in my empties video right before we moved to Philly, I had, I think it was 5 or 6 body scrub empties in that one empties video, and those were just my empties from the past 4 months. Now, to be fair, my partner also was using those body scrubs regularly, so we were just going through them really quickly, but Sima has completely eliminated the need for purchasing those products. Honestly, a huge win for my mindful beauty consumption journey. I mean, would these not make the perfect little stocking stuffers? They come in all different colors, and I also have to say I love that the packaging is compostable. So they have the body towels as well as an exfoliating face towel. That could be another really awesome stocking stuffer. Their body wash is another one of my favorites. It's the charcoal body wash for rough and bumpy skin. It smells so good. I really just love the smell of this. It looks really chic in my shower. Feel free to use my discount code, which is just my name, Sarah, with an H. I hope you guys will check them out if you are in the market for something like this or as a gift for someone. I will have all their info as well as a link to their website down below if you'd like to shop. Thank you so much to Seema for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into the plan to pan. So I picked 32 products across all different categories of my collection that I want to use up next year. I want to take my plan to pan a little bit more seriously this year because there have been some years where I've filmed my plan to pan fully intending to pan all of those things, and then I get to the halfway point of the year and I film an update like how am I doing on my plan to pan, and I've hardly used some of them. And so all of these things I want to try and at least use throughout the year, even if I don't necessarily succeed in panning all of them. I don't want to neglect these things. These are the things I want to keep top of mind all year long, not just when I have them in a specific project pan. First up is the primer I want to finish. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Hue Drops. So I'm about halfway down the label. That's about where we are right now. So I guess I don't have that much left. There have been a few times I've used this recently where I got a little like air bubble in the pump, and so I think that tells me it is running low. So I think I will be able to easily use this up in 2026. I use this almost every day lately. I really love this product, and I think this will definitely be finished early next year. So I was looking at all of my SPF containing products expiration dates, and I realized there are 3 tinted sunscreens that expire in 2026. I've actually decided to start counting my tinted sunscreens as makeup products in my inventory, in my usage tracker, because I often use tinted mineral sunscreens as a base product, and that's exactly what I did with the Dime Beauty Wonder Screen, and I was able to use it up really quickly using it as both a makeup product and sunscreen, even if I wasn't wearing other makeup. So there are 3. Bad news is there are 3. Good news is I think I can go through these pretty quickly. Sorry if you can hear my neighbor's dog barking. He's a really cute dog. So just seeing how quickly I was able to go through the Dime Wonder Screen, I think I can do it. These are the only 3 base products on my plan to pan. So the first one is one that I've used quite a bit of. It's the NYX Buttermilk Glaze Soft Glow Skin Tint. I have the shade 01 Whipped Butter. This one expires in July, and I do want to make a quick note about why I do strictly follow the expiration dates on sunscreen products. Most makeup products don't have a specific expiration date on them, at least in the US, but because sunscreens are considered a drug, like it says drug facts right here, so it's required to have an expiration date on it, sunscreens definitely can degrade, especially chemical sunscreens, which this one is, can definitely degrade over time. And even though I'm not always relying on these products for their SPF alone, like maybe I have another sunscreen on underneath, especially with something like the NYX Skin Tint, I pretty much always have another sunscreen underneath this. So in that case, I would be willing to go a little bit past the expiration date if I'm only using this as a complexion product and I'm using another sunscreen underneath. But I really wouldn't want to go too much past that expiration date personally. So I would hope to finish this one by the end of July, and I think I can do that. I mean, you can see I've definitely used this one, but there is a lot left. So I will have to experiment with using this as more of a sunscreen, like measuring out a 1/4 teaspoon and seeing if it's possible to wear that much of it. Because it could be that that's possible. I mean, I feel like it's a thin enough formula that it might not be horrible. So I'll try that out and see if I can get more use on this. But of course, sunscreens, you can always use them on your body too, but I don't really like using products with pigment on my body just because it can rub off on my clothes and onto like, I can just leave fingerprints everywhere. So I probably wouldn't do that with these, but that is one that I want to use up. This one actually expires in June of 2026, but it's a mineral sunscreen. I know mineral filters aren't necessarily prone to degrading the same way that chemical filters are. I still feel like something in the formula could go off that would make it like less effective. I don't know. That's just a personal thing, but I still probably wouldn't want to use this much past June of next year, but I have really been enjoying this. This is the Undefined Beauty R&R Sun Serum with SPF 50. This one's actually water resistant, which is amazing. Really nice kind of dewy tinted sunscreen option. Doesn't have a ton of coverage, but it's a nice just skin tint I wore it the other day as my base under a full face of makeup. No foundation, just this, and really liked how it looked. The look felt complete. So that is one way I plan to use this. And then the third one expires in September of 2026. I've only used this one time, so no idea if I even like this, but this is the Jones Road Everyday Sunscreen with SPF 30, and I have the shade Sandy. 3 base products all in 1 year is kind of a lot, but I think I can do it. And by the way, these are the 32 products I want to finish. I actually decided not to have products on here that I just want to hit pan on. These are things I want to actually finish. So not so much thinking about hitting pan, I feel like I want to focus more on using things up. And I think hitting pan will just come naturally with my 10 uses project and just rotating through my collection. I would want to use up my Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. This will be my oldest concealer once I finish the Tarte Mini Ultra Creamy. I feel like it is probably still pretty full, but if this is the main concealer I'm using next year, I do think that this will be finished. I also would like to finish my NYX Pro Fix Stick Corrector in the shade Pink. There's really not that much left in here, but considering how little of it I use each time, it'll probably take the whole year using this just about every day, but I already use it every day and I love it. I actually have a little bit of it that I'm still using up in this little jar because the stick broke, so I dug out everything that was in the very bottom, put it in here, and I am still working on using up that little bit. It's been months at this point that I've been using this part, but anyway, once that's done, I'll move back over to the stick, which I do kind of prefer because I feel like I can have a little more control over like how much I'm applying, because I just do basically like one swipe under each eye, and it's perfect. This, I do feel like it's going to be getting pretty old by the end of next year, so if I could just wrap it up, you know, use it up, that would be great. I have 2 powders, both of which don't even have pan in them yet, but I think I will probably end up using both of these up next year because they are my only 2 powders once my e.l.f. Halo Glow Loose Powder is done. So first is the AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Powder. I have the shade Porcelain, and this is just a good everyday translucent setting powder. I'm really not picky with powders, but I like this one. And I also have the Tower 28 Get Set Pressed Powder in Palisades Pink, but soon it will be a loose powder because I tried to repress this and it totally ruined it, so I'm just going to turn it into a loose powder and hopefully that'll work better. But once my e.l.f. powder is empty, I'm going to put this into there and use it from there. But I think with these being the only 2 powders in my collection, I will easily use them both up in 2026. Even though I would say they're both pretty full at this point. They're not very used. Another thing I think I'll be finishing in 2026 is the Makeup Revolution Sport Fix Lasting Hold Fixing Spray. This is already feeling pretty low. I really don't know exactly how much is in there because it's so hard to see through, but it sounds pretty low, but like I don't think I'll be finishing it this month in December. I think it'll be next year, but this will be done easily. I use this just about every day. Used it today, so I think that'll be the next setting spray I finish. Now, tell me why I keep ending up with products that I get from our Buy Nothing group that I then have to immediately put into a project pan because it expires in like 2 months. But I picked this up yesterday from a neighbor. It's the e.l.f. Skin Sun Touchable All Set for Sun SPF 45 setting spray. And I've been wanting to try this, but I didn't really want to buy it, so when I saw that someone was giving it away, I was like, me please. However, it does expire in February of 2026, but it also doesn't sound very full. Like, it sounds like, no, it's pretty full. Never mind, I lied. It is just about unused. So yeah, I have just a couple months to try and finish this. This is the same pickle I found myself in with the Dime Wonder Screen, but I panned that really quickly, so the good news is it's a really small bottle. How much is in here? 2 fluid ounces. And the Revolution Sport Fix is 3.38 fluid ounces, and this is not even that big. The Urban Decay is 4 ounces. Yeah, so this is like half the size of an Urban Decay setting spray. I think I can use it up. I challenge accepted, okay? I can do it. I have a confession to make. I don't really reapply sunscreen if I have makeup on. Like, I'm just going to hold on to the hope that whatever I put on underneath my makeup is holding up well. Because I know that SPF setting sprays and SPF powders don't actually work that well unless you are physically like rubbing something like this into your skin, which you're not going to do over makeup. You're not going to get an even layer. You're just getting little spots of it all over your face because it's a spray. So Obviously I know that, and that's why I don't really bother a lot of the time to reapply over makeup. Now if I'm outside all day long, I just don't wear makeup and I do reapply. But at the same time, I kind of also agree with the philosophy that something is better than nothing. Like if you're not going to reapply at all, isn't it better to at least reapply with the setting spray instead? So even though we're heading into the dead of winter where we get like 5 hours of daylight is what it feels like on a good day, but it feels a little bit silly to be like diligently reapplying with this SPF setting spray. But it's a good habit to get into, and so I will try to do that. There is one bronzer that I want to finish in 2026, and it is this one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer in Fair. And I already have huge pan in this, and it seems like every time I use this, the pan just gets bigger and bigger. So I feel like it would actually be pretty easy to use this up in the new year. This is my oldest bronzer, so that is the main reason I want to try and use it up. It was expensive, I bought it myself, and I want to really make sure I'm getting my full money's worth out of it. So I can't wait to use this more next year. I really love this bronzer. This next one is ambitious, okay, but I think I can do it. I want to finish the Tower 28 Beach Please Cream Blush in Magic Hour. I already have pan. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a teeny tiny pan in the middle. I'm wearing this today as a blush layered under something else, but this is a great, just kind of everyday, warm, peachy blush color, and I really like it. It doesn't come with a massive amount of product either, and the other nice thing about this, really any cream blush, but this even like is advertised as a lip color, and I actually love this color on my lips. It's really pretty. It's like a light nude for my lips, so I am going to try to maybe almost treat this as a lip balm, like a daytime lip balm, because it does have moisturizing ingredients in it. It's a really nice kind of emollient cream blush formula, and it feels great on the lips. So I'm going to try to just, I think with really diligent use, I can use this up. Once again, this is my oldest blush, and it is a cream, so I don't want to let it go bad. I mean, if we go off of the shelf life, it expired like 2 years ago, so. Those are the only two cheek products that I'm trying to use up next year. So, you know, they're ambitious, but still realistic. Several brow products that I want to move out in 2026. I did a huge brow laminating product showdown this year, and so I have a lot of those types of products that I want to just move out of my collection now because I collected quite a few. So, but the first thing is actually not a laminating product at all. It is the Wonderskin Wonder Blading Brow Stain and Go. You may have seen me use this on camera a couple of times. I have the shade Blonde. I've used it quite a few times since then, and I don't know, I like it. The problem is it's really inconvenient to have to put this on and then get up and go to the sink to wet my cloth and then wipe it off. This is essentially like a stain, like kind of like a lip stain but for your brows. You put it in your brows, let it dry for like 60 seconds, and then wipe it off with like a microfiber cloth and just like some water. And it stains your brow hairs and also kind of the skin underneath depending on how long you leave it on. However, I had the idea to get like just a spray bottle with water in it to keep it my vanity, and then that way I can just not have to get up when I'm ready to take this off. So I'm going to try that, but I want to try and use this up because I feel like it's one of those things I could easily neglect, but I could also easily use it up if I just work it into my regular routine. My friend Too Much Tosh, who also project pans and tracks her uses on products, said it took her 104 uses to finish this. So I'm hoping I could use it up in about that same amount of time. Honestly, 104 uses is not that many if I'm just working this into my routine every day that I do makeup. I definitely could use this up in probably half a year. Then these are the 3 brow gels I want to use up. They are selected based on oldest as well as the 2 most expensive. So the oldest one I have is the NYX Brow Glue. I would like to use this up before it gets much older. I have the shade Taupe in this, and it's a good just like tinted medium hold brow gel, but it's not as strong hold as what I like to wear most of the time. So it's not something I'm going to wear every day. Like it's kind of just something I might throw on even if I'm not wearing any other makeup. Then these 2 are both the most expensive ones. The Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel. This is a mini size, and I already feel like this is kind of starting to run out, so this one I would like to finish. And also the Rare Beauty Flexible Lifting Gel. This is not a mini, even though it kind of looks like one. This is just the regular size, but I want to finish this one next after the Patrick Ta. Okay, another thing where you might be saying, are you crazy, given your past track record with panning? But I want to use up 2 cream shadows in 2026. The first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow in Rose Gold. This is my oldest cream shadow, also very expensive, so I want to get my full money's worth on this. Right now I'm just trying to hit pan, and I think I'm getting pretty close, but it'll take a while longer to use this up. Like, the full year of 2026, I will be working on this, I'm sure. But it's not hard to use as an eyeshadow base. I even have it on today under this look, which you wouldn't necessarily expect, but it is useful really for most eye looks that I do. And then I also want to use up the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in Copper Chic. This one is less of a priority to use up than the Charlotte Tilbury, so there's a lot left, okay? But if you remember, I also was panning the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in Rose Gold earlier this year before the move, and I didn't quite finish it, but I came really close. And I was looking back at my uses on that, and I only used it 30 times to use up a large chunk of it. So if I have the whole year and I want a base for eyeshadow that's a little bit darker than the rose gold, more of like a bronzy brown option, I'll have both. And other than that, there are 2 powder eyeshadows that I want to use up next year as well. First is a cream eyeshadow, not a cream texture, but a cream colored eyeshadow from the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palettes, the shade Good Karma. I currently have this in my end of year project pan to hit pan on. I used up a matte cream eyeshadow in 2025 in the ABH Norvina palette, so I'd love to just use up another one, and this is, again, this is the recurring theme of this video, but it is my next oldest shadow of this color. So this is the one I would like to finish, and I've also decided at the end of 2026 I'll be retiring this palette because it is getting very old. It'll be 6 years old by the end of next year. So there are quite a few shades in here that I want to hit pan on next year. And by the way, I'm going to be doing a separate plan to pan for eyeshadows because I feel like that would just be too much for one video, but I also have a lot of plans for eyeshadow panning next year. But as far as the eyeshadows I just want to finish next year from this palette, Good Karma. So that is one. But I use that type of shade almost every day, so I think I could do it, even though I still don't even have pan in there. And I also want to use up one of my depotted shadows from the BH Cosmetics Summer in St. Tropez palette. This is the shade Sand. Huge pan in here already, and I have this on today. It's a good transition shade. But also, this is such a soft, powdery shadow. I mean, just dipping into it, you kick up so much dust. So this one moves very quickly, and so this will be super easy to finish. It's another kind of shade that I'll wear all the time. It's a little bit deeper than just a matte cream shade. It's just like a tiny bit deeper than my skin tone, so it's just a perfect transition and blending shade. I'm also hoping to finish my NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in Rose Gold. I currently have this in my end of year project pan, but I don't think I'll be finishing it in the next month. Just don't think it's going to happen. But I definitely think I'll finish it in like the first half of 2026, which will be awesome. Once again, my oldest eyeliner, and I love this. Actually, since I started panning it, I have rediscovered my love for this eyeliner. It's so pretty. I have it on the lower lash line today. It just adds a little bit of sparkle. Love it. So that'll be a fun one and an easy one to finish, I think. Naturally, it wouldn't be one of my plan to pans if I didn't have a boatload of lip products that I plan to pan in the new year. For starters, I want to use up 4 lip liners next year. The first one being my oldest, it's the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in the shade Happy. This is such a pretty soft red, and I'm not wearing it today, but I love it with bolder reds. I also love it with more peachy colors, and this will be a pretty one to wear as blush as well. You can already see I've already used up a lot of this. I'm wearing this a lot now anytime I'm doing a red lip for the holidays, but I'm thinking outside of that I'll probably be wearing this the most in the spring and summer, so that is probably when I'll get the most use out of this. I also want to use up both of my Jones Road lip pencils because by next year these will be getting older as well. I love these. You can see one I've used a little bit more than the other. That's the shade Mauve. I love that shade. It basically matches my natural lip color, so I like it because I can kind of like overline my lips a little bit and it's not super obvious with this. And then the shade Nudist as well is more of a light brownie nude. Love these. This is one of my favorite lip liner formulas. It's so smooth and just comfortable, very blendable, and kind of blurring, and yeah, so I will definitely enjoy using those up. Lip liners I also will wear as blushes to use them up, although I probably won't wear this one as a blush. This is the Statue Lip Liner Stain. It's the Peel Off Lip Liner Tattoo in the shade Hazel, which is supposed to be sort of a brown. It definitely has more red to it than I would normally pick in a brown lip liner, but I do still like it. I've kind of recently gotten the hang of this where I feel like it looks best when I apply a super thin line around my lips and then don't leave it on too long, like maybe leave it on a minute max. And it just gives like this most subtle definition to my lip line. It's really cool actually. So I'm glad I kept giving this chances because I really like the effect that it has on my lips now. I also, thanks to Too Much Tosh, I have a little bit of knowledge on how long it might take to use this up. She's panned 2 of these now. I've been taking notes, okay, when I watch her empties videos because I know we have some of the same products. And I'm always curious to know how long it took her to use those things up. She had one of these that she used up in 49 uses and another one she used up in 96 uses. So sounds like anywhere from like 50 to 100 uses I could expect with this. It seems to depend a lot on how old it is. So who knows, but at the same time, 50 to 100 uses is very doable. I feel like I can do that within a handful of months. Then I have a couple of lip stains that I want to use up in 2026. First is the Wonderskin Wonder Blading Lip Mask in Lovely. This is the lip stain that looks blue and then you wipe it off and it gives you the actual color. This is like a peachy, it really ends up looking very rosy mauve on my lips, but it's supposed to be kind of a peachy brown. I really don't get much of that at all, but this is another one that I think Tosh has used up a couple and got like a wildly different number of uses for each one, just depending on how long they had each been opened. But there was one of these she used up in 30 uses, which is crazy. So I have had this open for over a year, so mine is probably on the verge of drying out because apparently these dry out really quickly. So since I know that now, I want to start using up as much of this as I can, and I'm guessing it'll probably not take me too many uses to finish this one. So wish me luck on that. And then also I want to use up the Kaja Jelly Charm Lip Stain in Peach Fizz. I love this product, but this is getting old, so I need to start using this up. I could also use this on the cheeks if I wanted to. I might try that actually. But this one I will have to track my progress only by weighing because there is no way I can see or measure like how much I'm using up just with the shape of this packaging. So that one will be interesting. I have no idea how long it'll take to pan that. That might be a challenge. 2 bullet lipsticks that I want to use up next year. The e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine in Cheery, which is a really fun coral. It doesn't look like I have much left of this, but this could take a while to finish. But as always, I'll use this as a blush and a lip. This is another one I think I will focus on mostly in the spring and summer. The other lipstick I want to pan is a nude. This is the BK Beauty lipstick in Grace, and this is how much I have left of this one. I feel like this is a pretty creamy formula, and so with dedicated use, I think I could use this up pretty quickly, especially using it as a blush. I have had a BK Beauty lipstick go bad on me before, and I don't want that to happen, so let's work on this one. And as I said in my last Project Pan update, I want to start having at least one lip gloss or lip oil that I can use throughout the day as my just daytime lip treatment. When I want to put something on my lips, that's what I'm putting on, so that I can work through some of my older lip glosses. So the one I'm working on now and that I think I'll finish in 2026 is the Ciate London Bronze Glow Shimmering Lip Oil. I mean, you can see I'm doing pretty well on this. This is running pretty low, so this will definitely be done in the earlier part of 2026. This is my oldest lip gloss. This one's a little different though because it is such a plumping lip product, but it's the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in White Peach. Love this. I have no idea how long it would take to pan this. It doesn't come with a ton of product. 0.095 ounces, not even 0.1 ounces. It's much less product than most lip glosses, but at the same time, like in this format, I just have no idea how long it could take. I usually click it up 3 or 4 times each time I use it, and that's all I need. So I would love to know if you have panned this, how did it go? But this one definitely needs to go in 2026. Another SPF product that will expire in 2026 is the e.l.f. Sun Boss Gloss in the shade Blush Much, which is a pink, and this has SPF 25. It's a mineral SPF, but it expires February 2026. So I'm already working on this in my current project, and it's actually going pretty quickly, so I definitely think it'll be easy to finish this by February. And that's everything, you guys. That's all 32 products that I want to use up in 2026. Some of these I might be overambitious, but I don't know. I really think that starting to track my makeup uses has made panning seem a lot less daunting, because I have a better idea of how long it actually takes and how many uses I would actually need to log on a product to finish it. Just based on past products I've panned, like this will probably take another 60 uses to finish, which sounds like a lot, but I'm reapplying this throughout the day, like every day. So that doesn't actually take that long to finish. And I think just having that information makes it easier to pick products to pan and to generally know how long it might take to finish something. And I'm sure there are those odd products that'll take like 500 uses to finish. Haven't been tracking long enough to know that yet. Don't forget to check out Sima for all of your body care needs. All of their info is linked down below. But thank you so much for watching today's video and hanging out with me. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and hopefully I'll talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye!